Hello and welcome everyone to this tutorial on how to set up Pipewire on Ubuntu 20.04. As you can tell, I'm running Ubuntu 20.04 right here, and I got Pipewire running. I can tell you by running pulse audio control space info, and it's telling us that I am running pulse audio on Pipewire. So how to get there? Simply follow a simple instruction like shown here, and I will guide you to most of the steps. Some steps I can't do because Pipewire is already running and it would crash the OBS screen recording. So first off, we will start and tell the system where to look for the Pipewire files. And this is usually done through a repository. And that's exactly what the command is doing. It's adding the repository as a super user, so as administrator to your system. So just hit enter to pull that specific part into your system. You could do that via graphical user interface. To do so, you go to applications and update, and then go to different programs or additional programs. I don't know what it's in English exactly. And then hit add. And there you can go and select this one right here and just copy paste that into here. That will do the same as the whole command is doing in the terminal. So once that's done, it shouldn't report no error. In my case, it's reporting errors because of the Skype repository, which is outdated, or a signature is missing. But I haven't taken care of that because I use Skype so rarely that I don't really need that up-to-date version. Next up, you want to update all of your package information on your system. To do so, just copy or type in sudo space apt space update, and then paste it into your terminal by right-clicking. Control V does not work, at least not on my terminal, to paste. In the third step, and it's doing it, and it's telling us the same error I got before because of a Skype repository. In the third step, you want to install the actual Pipewire packages, and it's telling me I already got that installed, which is obvious. Step 4, you want to install Bluetooth if you want to use your Bluetooth device correctly, because by default it will not recognize that accordingly, because the libraries are a little outdated, which comes with Pipewire, at least to this point. That might change in the future. So if you want to use your Bluetooth mouse, or in this case it's mouse, sorry, that was bull, your Bluetooth audio devices, you need to install the library. So simply copy that over, paste it, and it's telling us I already did that. One thing you want to keep in mind, Bluetooth is working nicely with Wire Plumber. So Wire Plumber is a different session manager for Pipewire, and it will replace the default Pipewire media session service. Downside in the previous version of Pipewire was that I needed to launch Wire Plumber on every launch, or I could have shifted it over to the auto start, which I don't need with the Pipewire media session service. It's just loading it up as a default service when launching. The operating system, Wireplumber, is not at that stage, I guess. So therefore, and I don't need audio or Bluetooth audio, but if you do, make sure you install Wireplumber. And you can simply type in install Wireplumber 2004, Ubuntu 2004 in Google, and it will tell you a short installation process. So next up, install all the client libraries needed on your system. So if you got Pulse Audio applications, it will install a Pulse Audio library, it will install Jack libraries if needed, and so on. I already did that. You can do all of this or part of this via Synaptic package management. Oh, sorry. If you want to do that this way, you can do that easily, but this way is probably more streamlined. And then you want to reload the user daemon. So it will reload all of the audio stuff, which I don't do right now because OBS is running. Next up, you want to disable Pulse Audio so it's not launching up the server every time you boot up your system. Therefore, simply copy paste the command system controls --user space --now space disable space pulse audio dot service space pulse audio dot socket. So it's disabling the Pulse Audio service and the according sockets which Pulse Audio needs to talk to applications. In my case, it's telling me that it's ignoring that comment because the service is already masked. This is a step you only need on Ubuntu 2004. You need to mask Pulse Audio. Otherwise, it will automatically boot up and launch the service. That's something weird happening in the background right there in 21. So in Ubuntu 21.04, you don't need that step anymore. So in the next step, we will actually launch all of our Pipewire media session services. So all of the libraries will be loaded and so on. I will not do that right now since I already got Pipewire running and stuff using Pipewire, which might break the audio, but this comment will start your Pipewire service. And if something's not working out, simply just paste it into the terminal again and hit enter again. Another way can be to type in system control space --user space restart space Pipewire. So you will restart your Pipewire daemon like so. Yeah. And you should be good to go. If you want to make sure or want to check if Pulse Audio is running on Pipewire, simply copy this comment over or type in Pulse Audio control PACTL space info, and that will show you the part of what is running actually. In my case, it's Pulse Audio on Pipewire. And it's telling you which Pipewire version you are on, and even the project rate, how many channels it uses right now, and it's so some basic stuff. Hopefully you got to this point. If you do not see this part, or it's giving you some errors, you might want to try pulse audio. Sorry, I'm just typing badly today. You shouldn't write pulse. Pulse audio space minus capital D, which will reload all your pulse audio client side, and the pulse audio daemon, which is not the server. If that's not solving the issue, like you don't have your interface showing up in the sound menu in your preferences, then you can revert the last steps with these 3 comments. Hopefully you don't need these. So once you're done, you are probably going to restart your system to apply all the changes, which is usually the next step you want to do, or simply log out and log in again. That should apply all the changes to the system. Next up, you want to go and check on your main drive, on your operating system drive, the folder USR, share, and then simply type pipewire. And there you have the client configuration, client real-time configuration, jack config, pipewire, and pipewire pulse config. And as you can tell from the naming, Pipewire Pulse is everything Pulse audio related Pipewire. So all of the basic audio side from Ubuntu. Pipewire is just the Pipewire server itself. Jack is the configuration for all of your Jack clients. And client real-time, you can set that for a network connection. So if you got a Pipewire server on a system running and you want to connect with the client and you need real-time stuff, you want to change it here. If you don't need that, you simply go in here. In our case, most importantly is the jack configuration, since the default Pipewire service sets the audio accordingly to the Pipewire configuration, and that is set to 25 or 28 milliseconds of delay for processing audio, and that should be good for browser, video, gaming, stuff like that. You should be good to go. If it does need some modification, you go inside here, and then you want to go, you want to change the settings right here. But you want to make sure if there is this hashtag stuff right in front, it's off by default. You want to uncheck that like this, it's active, and yeah, that's it. What these settings are all about: the default clock rate is your project rate, like you can see in Audacity right here, which is generally 4100 or 48,000. And you can tell that even in this Jack application, just a second, like the sample rate is 48,000 hertz. That is what this is about. That's what you can set up here. And you can type in allowed rates. So in this case, you can, or we could type in 4040 100 and simply uncheck all of this like so, to make sure it can use both, or even 96,000. That would be just fine. So next up, you have the default clock quantum, and the quantum is like the sample rate or the buffer size, and that is set to 50 milliseconds, around about. So 1024 is round about 50 milliseconds. If you need lower latencies, you reduce that. Half of that is 512, and half of that is 256, 128, 64, 32, and so on. And you can set a default buffer size, and you can set a minimum, so the lowest the system should be able to handle, which is set to 32 buffers, and the maximum, which is 8,192, which is about 100 milliseconds, which is pretty high, but for some reasons you might need that, or it's even higher. I guess it's 200 milliseconds. You can set this up, but it's just your default Pipewire configuration. You probably don't need to change anything here. Inside the jack configuration, which is important for my needs, for this Bitwig Studio version to run nicely for audio recording and stuff like that, I need to go in here and then go to this global properties for all jack clients. So it's already telling what it's doing, for what it's supposed to do. It's for all jack clients, and Bitwig is a jack client, and Kolf is a jack client. So these two programs will use these settings. So the latency node is the point the program uses. So you got your server and you got a node, and that node is jack, and it's running with a sample rate of 25 milliseconds at 48,000 hertz. I can change the sample rate to whatever parameter I want. Of course, my system should be able to handle this. So if we take like 1024 and do not change the sample rate, because changing the sample rate results in a pitched audio, which is awkward. So I did not touch that at all, and it works fine. So if we're gonna change this, we cannot save it right now because it's protected. In order to change that, you need to go to the command line or terminal and type in sudo gedit or vim, whatever editor you're using, then usr/share/pipewire/jack.conf, and then type in your super user password. And now we could change this one up to 1024 and change it. And now if we restart the audio engine of Bitwig, we can see that it did change the buffer size to 1024 and the sample rate is 4800, and resulting in our deadline. So the maximum time the Bitwig can use is 21 milliseconds. And if we stop that and go back to our config file and change that back to 512 and change it again, save it again, relaunch the audio engine, you can see the changed sample rate buffer size took effect, and therefore our deadline or our maximum time is reduced. So that is basically how you can set up Pipewire. You can do all of that as well using some graphical user interfaces like QJack Control or Kathia or Claudia, and there is some stuff in the way or on the way, which is Halvom, which is close to close to QJack Control or Kathia. Unfortunately, it's not available as a Debian package by default, as you can tell right here. I tried to pack it or build it, but it did not work for me. Maybe I'm doing kind of stuff weird or strange, but this one you should be familiar with. You can wire all the in and outputs and so on, and you can have your Calf compressor wired inside there and stuff like that. That's totally cool. One thing I really like about Pipewire is if we go back to our Jack input or Jack application, Jack app, and we go to the settings and the audio side, we are able to add a source, and we can choose whatever you or we want at any given point. So you can already tell, like OBS, we could easily grab that audio or video feed, or from our webcam the audio, or from our web browser MIDI information, and so on. All of these stuff you can grab using Pipewire. With Jack as default Jack configuration, you set up your in and outputs, and that's it. If I would have set up a Jack server, which is this setup is from an old Jack configuration, I wouldn't be able to tell the software, hey, can you please give me the input of the webcam? That would not be possible because Jack is set up to use one or probably two interfaces at once, but that's kind of hacky. So one interface is pretty straightforward. You just select that and you're ready to go. But you couldn't then be able to capture any other audio in or output from your system in the Bitwig or any other software. So that is crazy what Pipewire is able to do. And therefore, I really like it. Right now, using Bitwig, I cannot change this system capture one to like the Scarlett Pro capture auxiliary one. I won't get any audio from that. I can show you actually. So we're gonna add a mono input, and it's capture one, like so. And let's just add another audio track down here. We go down to mono in 9, and it's already lighting up as mono in. as well. They are both lining up, and you can see, and probably hear, yeah, there's audio getting into our DAW. So let's take that mono in 9 and go to our capture auxiliary 1. This is how Pipewire sees it, but the downside is it's not able to pick up any audio at all, and that's probably because Bitwig is a jack application. A jack pulls audio or also application, but not a Pipewire app. So it's not able to talk to Pipewire directly. It needs this jack audio server route kind of that Pipewire offers in order to talk correctly. And therefore, it's not so easy to add or change stuff in here, which is kind of sad right now, but I guess it will change over time using Wireplumber or different apps. Yeah. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you could stick around till the end. If you like the video, yeah, just smash the like button and hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to get notified whenever a new video is up. If you got any questions regarding Pipewire or maybe audio on Ubuntu or Linux in general, or the Bitwig application, just let me know down below in the comments, and see you next time.